There is a timeless story of a greedy monk that serves as a powerful lesson in humility and contentment. Once, in a peaceful monastery, there lived a monk who was known for his piety and discipline. However, there was one flaw in his character: greed. Despite living a life of simplicity, the monk could never resist the temptation to take more than his fair share of food, offerings, and gifts given to the monastery. His fellow monks noticed this but said nothing, thinking it was just a passing phase. One day, the abbot of the monastery decided to test the monk. He instructed the monks to gather in the temple and placed a small pot of gold coins in the middle of the room. The abbot told them, "This is a test of your hearts. Take what you need, but remember, greed will blind you to the true path of enlightenment." The greedy monk immediately rushed to the pot, filling his robes with as many coins as he could. He thought of how he would live comfortably and never have to worry about food or shelter again. But as he walked away, a strange thing happened. The more he held, the heavier the load became. The coins weighed him down, and with each step, his body grew more tired and his spirit more restless. Suddenly, the monk fell to his knees, overwhelmed by the weight of his greed. The abbot, who had been watching quietly, approached and said, "This is what greed does. It may seem light at first, but it eventually burdens you in ways you cannot imagine." The monk, ashamed and humbled, understood the lesson. He returned the coins to the pot, renouncing his greed and vowing to live a life of true simplicity. From that day forward, he became an example to others, demonstrating that true wealth comes not from possessions, but from the peace and contentment found within. The greedy monk's story didn't end with his realization. After he returned the gold coins, the abbot decided to teach him one more valuable lesson. The abbot told him, "You've learned that greed burdens the soul, but now you must understand that true wealth lies in giving, not accumulating." The monk, though still embarrassed, agreed to follow the abbot's advice. For the next few weeks, he went out into the village, sharing whatever little he had with the poor, the sick, and the needy. At first, it was difficult. He had grown so accustomed to collecting things for himself that the act of giving away his possessions felt like a loss. But as he continued to give, something remarkable began to happen. With every act of generosity, he felt lighter, freer, and more at peace. The more he gave, the less he needed. The monk began to realize that the treasures he had once sought, wealth, comfort, and status, were mere distractions from the true treasures of life: compassion, contentment, and peace of mind. One day, while meditating in solitude, the monk felt a deep sense of fulfillment, not from owning anything, but from knowing that his life had become one of service and simplicity. Years passed, and the monk became a well-respected figure in the monastery, known for his wisdom and generosity. He had transcended his greed, learning that fulfillment doesn't come from what you hold, but from what you give. The monk had discovered that the path to true wealth was through selflessness, and in doing so, he had found the happiness he had long sought. This story of the greedy monk teaches us that our desires can often lead us down a path of emptiness, weighed down by possessions and the pursuit of material gain. True success, however, comes not from accumulating more, but from releasing our attachments and finding fulfillment in simplicity, generosity, and inner peace. It is in letting go that we truly gain.